coal train is symbolic of much of the dilemma of Appalachia. Until very recently, the companies that mined the coal owned all the mining communities. They owned the mines themselves, the tipples, the company towns, the streets, the houses, the stores, the commissaries, the hotels, the hospitals. They even had their own brand of money, scrip, which circulated only in company commissaries and stores. This created a population that was totally dependent, and the dependency lasted for more than 40 years. Abruptly, a few years ago, the company no longer needed its mining men. It needed mining machines. So the company withdrew its paternalism in each of the mining valleys. Millions, hundreds of millions, even billions of dollars worth of coal have gone out of these valleys. Appalachia has produced essentially two crops of people, the rich who have followed the coal and the poor who have stayed here in the Appalachian Valley.
Appalachia, sweet the sound that falls upon the ear. All those who love Kentucky soil and hold that state so dear. It's people working far away, and those who love to roam are homesick for Appalachia, Kentucky, home sweet home.
60 years ago, big industry began to move in. The railroads, coal companies, the timber companies. Most of the mountains now are owned by big business, by the Rockefellers and the DuPonts and the Mellons, and by the federal government. And the people don't have much at all.
I think one of the beautiful things I've ever saw is in the fall of the year when I look on the technique of the mountains, see the beauty of all of the different colors of the trees. And I'm riding along with people, I say, look yonder. Yonder's the most beautiful scene that I've ever saw. I see the technic color of the mountains. We wonder how long it'll last. We wonder how long we can hold our peace. And they were coming in from the far corners of America. And they're taken out. They're taken out of our county and our state. They're taking out the things that God provided and put forth for us. They've taken it out, and they're leaving us nothing.
1966 alone, almost $900 million worth of coal was extracted. But the wealth underground is rarely reflected above ground.
We are not a state. We're more like a colony. All of our natural resources and our great minerals is owned by people that lives in other states. Like the King and Queen of England used to come in and take from the colonies, these people are taken from us. We have no tax at all on our great wealth. Nothing at all.
Illiteracy is high. Many people don't have enough food, and vitamin deficiencies are still common. The streams are polluted, the countryside littered with refuse, the mountains being torn up by strip miners.
Have a bad tax system, bad education, bad roads, and that keeps the industry out.
If you look at the area, you see people are poor, the educational attainment is less, and often people are not as healthy.
When I was little, the mines didn't bother the people that much. There was a lot of black dust. You know, that was black lung, but people didn't know that back then.
They were constantly getting hurt. You have, the same chances of getting black lung from zinc and lead as you do from coal.
17 years ago, Willis Duncan's life changed forever when a coal mining accident left him with a crushed sternum and broken ribs. Duncan developed a lifelong addiction to painkillers when his doctor's only treatment was a never-ending supply of pills.
The deep mines was then. You know, they were back in and down. That was then. And now they're not only taking what's underneath the mountain, they're taking what's over the mountain. They're taking it all.
Today, in the depressed counties of Central Appalachia, families have an average annual income less than the cost of a new car, the second lowest in the nation.
Opioids are now the biggest drug epidemic in American history. I recently traveled to one of the hardest hit states, West Virginia. It has the highest death rate from drug overdoses in the country.
2007, Purdue Pharma, the company which markets the potent OxyContin, was fined for deliberately misleading people about the addictiveness of the drug. At the time, doctors in the mountains had been prescribing it for everything from back pain to arthritis.
Pharmaceutical companies flooded Kermit with more than 12 million hydrocodone tablets between 2007 and 2012. The ratio of pills to people is staggering, about 30,000 pills for each Kermit resident. A faltering economy in the wake of a downturn in the coal industry has left the town vulnerable.
What we find with resource extraction economies is that while they generate a lot of economic activity during the time that the resource is being exploited or utilized, those jobs go away when the activity stops.
We lost everything. They lost the rock quarry, they lost the railroads, we lost the mines, we've lost our stores. We have nothing.
Do you think there should be like all wind power here, or what? I think we should have solar, hydroelectric, wind, coal. Let's mix it all up together and create a market where they have to compete for it. If you get competition, you get lower prices. You get better control. You get people, you know, that's going to actually take care of stuff. If you need competition, you know?
So somewhere along the line, somebody's going to have to make a break in that and say, look, let's spend the money to change this system so that there can be industry, there can be better education, and there can be jobs for these people and make them productive citizens. In other words, when you attack the ADCU guy, when you attack the guy on welfare, you're attacking the product of a system, not the cause of what's wrong. You're attacking somebody who's suffered under the system, not the guy who's created it.
It was a town that was abandoned by the by the big companies, but we made it anyway, because that's what communities do. You stay together and pull for each other.